Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in today to the stream. We are Split Software. I am Krista Mars, your host with the most. Actually, I don't know if I can say that. It might be copyrighted. Hopefully, it's not. We'll just forget I even said it. Thank you for joining today. Hopefully, you have something to drink: coffee, pop, water, juice, milk, tea, energy drink. Maybe it's a late night for you and you're having a beer or a cocktail, whatever you choose. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Glad y'all tuned in once again. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Chris. You can catch me on Twitter. Should be right there at Salton Burnham. I'm a developer advocate at Split Software. Split Software is a experimentation and feature flag platform. We do A/B testing, feature flags, CI/CD stuff, a bunch of amazing things. And I have an awesome guest today. Hey, what's up, Todd? I want to introduce my guest. She's awesome. Welcome to the stream, Diana Pham. What is going on, Diana?
Hello, hello. How's
Are
everyone
you?
doing today? Oh, hi, Todd. Wow, someone actually watched. I mean, I'm not surprised they came for you, but I'd be surprised that if anyone in the audience actually knew me, I'd be surprised.
You know everybody. Like you know
I
everybody.
don't.
Yes, you don't even lie. I watch your Twitter timeline. You know
I don't.
everybody, and all the same cats that you know. I know, and they're surprised that I know you. Like
Y-
Jay Creams. Shout out
Yes, I was
Jonathan
actually
Creamer.
just gonna talk. Yeah, so shout out to Jonathan because we were just talking about you the other day, or just talking about our little group, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm surprised I've never met you." But I told him it's because I only recently started traveling, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I only started recently meeting people, and on the topic of drinking things, I'm gonna drink my yerba mate
there
from
you go.
Costco.
Well,
They
Diana,
sponsor this stream.
for the people that don't know you, tell us what you do, where you work, what you got going on, who you
Yeah,
are.
yeah, for sure. So, hi everyone, I'm Diana Pham. A lot of people don't know I have a last name. They just call me Diana's Oyster, or they think my last name's Oyster. Or someone on another stream thought my last name was Soyster, which is a way cooler last name than
That's
my
kind of
own.
funny. Diana Soyster. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, can we just
That's funny.
change all your contacts with me in them to just Diana Soyster? But I'm Diana. I work at Vonage as a developer advocate. I mainly represent the North America area, which is ironic because I'm going to South America next week for an event. But yeah, I've been there since August of last year, but I've been doing DevRel for about 2 years now. And more recently, I got put onto this project, or everyone on the DevRel team has a product specialist or like a product they specialize in. And I recently got into AI Studio, which is Vonage's no code, low code tool. So you'll see more of what I do on there. Oh, and what Vonage does. They're a telecommunications company. In case you are a little bit older or remember the commercials from Once Upon a Time when their logo was a very loud, obnoxious orange, and everyone had home phones and needed to call their aunties and uncles in a foreign country. So Vonage helped out with that once upon a time. So if you needed to make international calls, and you probably had a Vonage phone number. But now we are in the current century, millennium, whatever you want to call it. So we've moved on to telecommunication APIs. So if you have an app that you want to add text messaging or normal messaging or voice calls or video calls, then Vonage can help you out with that. And if you need some coupon codes or something to get started, well, no, if you make a Vonage account, they'll start you off with code. But if you need some more coupon credits, then you can feel free to message me on Twitter. Yeah.
Awesome. Make sure that you follow Diana on Twitter. Right there.
Thank you.
Twitter.com/Diana's Oyster for the win, or Diana Soyster,
Diana
however,
Soyster.
whatever you want to say. But make sure that you give your boy a follow too. You can follow me right here, Sultan Burnham. And then if you're not following Split, follow Split Software at twitter.com slash slash Split Software.
English is hard. English is hard.
I know, right? I can't English today. I can never math as it is, but I also have trouble Englishing every now and then. So,
That's okay. English isn't even my first language, and I don't even remember my first language as much as I should.
well, hey, we're all together now in the multi-language world. So we're just gonna celebrate.
Hi, Jeff.
Oh, look at Jeff, my buddy. See, you know Jeff. I know Jeff. I've been friends with Jeff for a long, long time.
Jeff, have we met in person? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe.
We recently met in person. I don't even know if you knew I existed before. Yeah, probably somewhere. But I don't know if you knew I existed before Code Mash. I knew you existed because I don't remember. Why do I know? Why didn't I know you existed? Oh, because you were
Uh,
like, I'm going to Code Mash, and I was like, me too. And then that's when I was like, congrats on 5K.
yep. And yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then we just figured out that we both knew, Jeremy Meese, good friend of
Yes,
mine, Mr.
yes.
Ted Neward, another good friend of mine, and leader of mine at another company that I worked for. So yeah,
Oh, so everyone in this at this stream knows each other.
pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Todd and I met. Oh, years ago, I was speaking at a conference in Vermont, and Todd was there.
Vermont.
Yep,
Okay, to
Burlington,
be fair, sorry, go ahead.
UX. It was UX Burlington, and that's where I first met Todd. And that's kind of where Todd and mine's relationship started, and that's kind of what booted him into the accessibility space because he watched my accessibility talk, and now Todd is lead accessibility engineer here and on the WCAG W3 chairman of the tables over there and does all the accessibility stuff. And then Jeff and I we've been friends for a minute. We used to cross paths at conferences and then officially said we're not crossing paths anymore. We're going to sit down and drink a beer and eat some food and finally hang out. And we did that years ago. So
So that's like your brand. What is mine from your perspective? What do people know me for? I'm actually scared to ask now.
uh see, I used to be known for like the selfie. I used to take selfies with everybody. I think if I had to put something on it, I would say uh boisterously at conferences, making friends with everybody, and a queen of selfies
Am
with
I?
other.
I'm really bad at selfies.
But your whole timeline's filled with them. All the people like that go to conferences that you get to have amazing fun with while I'm sitting at
Hmm.
home, you're taking selfies with. So,
That's true. That's true. Oh, and oysters. Yes, Jeff.
and oysters, yes, oysters in your
So
in your
I don't.
travels.
Yeah, not many people know why that came about. I think like they gave me that brand because when I created my Tumblr handle. Oh my gosh, my Twitter handle. Um, I came up with Diana's oyster because people say like, the world's your oyster. So metaphorically, it was supposed to be Diana's world. And then people just happened to start eating oysters with me. And so that just became a thing.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
But
perfect. It works. I remember you telling me that story at Code Mesh.
yes, yes, people had their assumptions, but that's the real story. So I have a thread of people who I've eaten oysters with from Twitter. And you're not on there, Chris.
I don't eat oysters, and I'm allergic to shellfish.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
right. Oh, we did talk about that
We
too.
talked about this. We
We'll
talked
do
about.
like oyster mushrooms for you.
Oh, dude, if I got some stuffed mushrooms with like some cheese, or even I don't care what kind of mushroom it is. I love mushrooms.
I love shrooms.
Portobello, yeah, morels. It doesn't matter. I love mushrooms in general, so we can
Mm,
we can do that.
we'll have mushrooms. It'll be Diana's mushrooms. Oh, actually, that sounds festive.
That's funny. Diana's mushrooms. Well, I haven't eaten all day, and I'm gonna have to eat after we're done here. But you know what?
Same.
What are we talking about today? What are you and I gonna vibe on the split stream this afternoon?
Does anyone from the audience have suggestions? We do. I did have something in mind,
Well,
but in case
the,
anyone from the audience wanted to bring something up,
the title is Introducing Women to STEM with Diana Pham.
that
But I
is
know we had
true.
some other little things that we were going to talk about, and
Yes.
part of that, and I'm actually going to be in that area this weekend for a conference. I'll be speaking at DevOps Days Rockies, so I will be in Colorado. But
Oh my gosh.
we
Of
have
course
we have
you.
a journey. We have a journey coming up, don't you? And it has to do with the
The
road,
Rockies.
the road to Miss Colorado, and introducing women to STEM all in one package.
Yes. So, for those of you who don't know, I am competing in Miss Colorado next month. And for every contestant, we have to have something that we advocate for, or some cause. And of course, mine is introducing women to STEM. And the title of my like thing is Blooming Flowers in Tech, just because I thought that was cute and pretty, and also because like I was a late bloomer for tech who Really, I realized after I did that, or like I came up with that, I have not spoken or I did not speak to a single woman before entering the tech field. I was like, let's go. I also didn't code. For some reason, I was like going through a life crisis and I was like, I'm gonna get my master's in computer science. Spoke to no one about it, like spoke to no woman about it, and I was like, all right, we're doing this now.
And you just went straight for the masters.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know you had a master's in computer science. You never
I
told me
didn't
that.
even have a bachelor. I forgot I do because I don't know. It's like kind of weird to talk about school because I feel like everyone else has been able to break into tech doing other things or like through other means. And here I am where I was like, I'm having a life crisis. I'm going to go to school. I feel like most people my age who go through life crises and don't intentionally go to grad school went to
Mhm.
grad school because they're going through a crisis. And that was
Right.
me. That was me.
Well, you came out of it now, and you have a master's in computer science. You're a
Yes.
developer advocate at Vonage.
Yes.
This is your world, and you're
So I
competing
guess
for
I'm,
Miss Colorado. Like, let's
yeah.
vibe on that.
Yeah. So I guess I'm doing okay for someone who had like a life crisis a couple years ago.
I think you're doing really, really well. Just from the person on the outside looking in. You're traveling, you're doing dope stuff over at Vonage, you're doing dope
Ooh,
stuff for the community. So my hat's off to you.
thank you, thank you. And Todd, yes, Todd and I will definitely get oysters for you, Doris.
Perfect. Perfect. I love it. So introducing women to STEM, how do we do that? Like, how do we do that from your perspective? Like me trying to do that, like I can do that all day long, right?
Mm-hmm,
I love advocating for women and
mm-hmm.
everybody in all of these STEM fields and being an advocate and being an ally as a person in tech.
Yeah,
But it's there's always that fine line, right, of whether I can be taken seriously or not, because I get profiled a lot because of how I look and vice versa,
right.
whatever the case may be. But I mean, and you know this, and a lot of our friends know this.
Mm-hmm.
Cass, Cassandra Ferris, she knows this. A lot of people in the community know I am there to push and be the advocate for everybody.
Absolutely.
But how do you approach it? Like, how do you approach introducing women to STEM or young women into STEM or just, anybody really into that field?
So I'm a lot more low key than you, in my opinion, but the best thing that I could do in terms of like getting women to know that there are other of us out there are doing talks.
Yeah.
And the talk that gets accepted the most of all my talks is titled How to Talk to Women.
Yeah.
And that one is where I just highlight pretty much like the kind of things that women in tech deal with and how other people can be allies. And when other people attend that talk, it's always women who can relate to it or like women who want to understand more of what that scene looks like. Men who like they see the talk, they see the things I put on the screen and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this happens. How can I help? How can
Yeah.
I make it better? How can I make the tech space a better place for women?" And then you have I don't think that third category who ironically I've created this talk for has shown up to my talks, but those are like for the misogynist men that I have crossed paths with at conferences.
Yeah.
So like that's one way, and just other people finding me through that has really encouraged them to reach out to me. I've noticed that whenever my company sends me to a conference and I am one of or the only woman who is boothing, all the women tend to talk to me
Hmm.
because it's like relatable and they like that. But outside of that, like I know a lot of people on Twitter and LinkedIn who are trying to break into tech. They'll find me through like YouTube videos of other countries, companies, or they'll find me like on LinkedIn doing whatever I do, and they'll reach out asking like, "Oh, like can I talk to you about my desire to join tech and like what it actually is like?" Because I'm not gonna glamorize it. Like
Hmm.
I know that with our jobs, and you know this very well, Todd, like everyone else traveling, we all know that our job looks super glamorous on social media, but especially for people who want to become advocates or like even developers, we tell them like what actually goes on and the exhaustion that comes with it. I actually just came from a trip last night and I am like low key dead inside, but hopefully it's not showing too much.
Yeah.
So
You got
yeah,
you got to have fun in New Orleans without me, but you
I
got to hang out with Garth and you got to hang out with Jay Creams and you got to hang out with
I
Becca.
did. Yes, I did. They're awesome people. But like that's one way. Another way is hosting workshops. So I recently became a uh, an Appright ambassador for Appright, and
Nice.
they're really big on like supporting the community. So I'm planning on hosting more of those for people who just want to break into tech and just bringing in Vonage because I kind of work there, so
Yeah.
it'd be nice if I can sprinkle a little something there. And just hosting workshops where I can just introduce women to STEM without making it super pretentious and intimidating. Because when someone watches a movie or a show and they see the coders who are like violently typing and then the screen doing what it does, that's not
Yeah.
actually what it does.
No.
And it looks very intimidating when you have to do that. And like they guess the password on one go.
I can't guess my own damn passwords.
Exactly. I'm like, I use one password and I think I still inputted it wrong or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But pretty much like tech isn't as scary as like yeah, it's freaking hard. I'm not gonna discount that. But tech isn't as scary as a lot of people make it out to be. And so hopefully my conversations with people are gonna help them realize that and actually want to be a part of this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the Appright thing is I like that. Are you working with Tessa for the Appright stuff?
I sure am. I actually we used to live in Seattle. Well, she's
Hmm.
still there, but like
Right.
I was there and that's when I first met her. Um and the first time I actually worked with her was for DevRelCon, the online one a couple of years ago.
Hmm.
So I was about like I was hired. She volunteered to help out, and that was awesome. And for those of you who don't know what DevRelCon is, it's like a developer relations conference. And if you haven't done so already, please nominate Demars for their DevRel Awards 2023 award.
Appreciate.
That one is being hosted in London, right?
I think so. Yeah, in September.
Yeah. So if you
Yeah.
haven't done so already, please go somewhere, wherever it is. Nominate Mars. He's awesome. Obviously, he's hosting these things, bringing people together, building our community. You've definitely built mine,
Aw,
100%. Yeah.
you made my heart smile.
Yeah. Also, do you notice I'm talking lower right now than I normally do?
Yes,
I'm
I
very
know.
yes. I try to be mindful of that because I've actually been told by a manager, not my current one, but I worked like this was like a decade ago when my manager asked me a question and I answered her and she was like, say that again? And I did, and she was like, you should really consider a voice acting classes because no one's gonna take you seriously if you talk like
That's too funny.
that. Yeah, but if I was actually to talk in my normal voice, and this is what it's like, and I don't think anyone can actually listen to me talking like this for an hour.
I have heard you talk like that
You
for
have!
way longer than an hour, but it's all
Yes,
good. It's all
yes.
good.
And then I toned down the Southern Californian too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
geez. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. When that
The
comes
SoCal
out,
comes out big time.
I don't know if you saw my tweet that told people, like, I was telling people how whenever I meet a coworker who's not from the US and we hang out at conferences in person, towards the end or like in the middle of the conference or however long that is, I ask them to impersonate me. And always, I don't give them a script, but every single one, for some unholy reason, they go, oh my gosh, hi, I'm Diana.
I know it's because I was victim to that at GoMash.
I think that's
When I
exactly what I said to you when I met you.
You did, I think you did, like with the hand and everything, and I'm like, oh, she's definitely from Southern California. I can definitely tell she's from the Valley or
Yeah,
something,
now
man.
you know who does a really good impersonation of me?
Who?
Mike.
Mike does, yes, yes. For anybody that doesn't know Mike Hartington, the beautiful bearded male from Ionic, he
What do they
does a
call
really good
him?
impression.
Blue-eyed white dragon.
Who calls him that?
Yeah, I think he was telling me like growing up or his schoolmates. I don't know. I
That's
need to
funny.
confirm, but
That's funny. He does have really nice blue eyes. I wish I had his blue eyes, but and
they're
brown
very
eyes.
blue. They're
So
very blue. I have yeah, mine are like poop colored. How about you? Like
deep brown, deep brown.
I remember when I like first started tech and the people I went to school with, they're not antisocial. They're just their social skills just quite aren't quite the
Hmm.
same as mine. And after that, I was spending a lot of time with them, and someone at a restaurant or something complimented in my eye, complimented English, complimented my eyes and they were like, "Oh, you have really nice eyes." And I was like, "Thanks, they're poop colored." Like that was my initial response. Like and then I got
That's
concerned for myself. And then my sister got concerned for me.
that's too funny.
But I
Too
hope
much concerning going on.
yeah, there's a lot of concerns in
That's
general,
funny.
but
Let's switch
yeah.
gear. I want to switch gears for a minute. I want to talk a little
Okay.
bit more about introducing women to STEM. Do you find that, like, even let's say somebody approaches you, or you approach somebody at a conference, or
Mhm.
you're in a hallway track, right, or whatever,
Mhm. Yes.
and someone that maybe it's their first conference, maybe it's their first meetup. Do you feel that in the state of where we are right now with web and software, especially in the web and software community all around the
Mhm.
world, that women are more hesitant to really push through the door and get involved? Or do you think that more women are standing up and they're taking a stand saying, yeah, you know what, we can do this. Like, we are going to do this and we are going to own it. Like, do you get that vibe? Like, what how are you gauging the community in that general area?
So I realized once you're in, like once
Hmm.
you've committed to being there, I feel like women are going to look out for other women who can advocate for them. And
100%.
I realized like I'm homies with the people who are there like to support me and other
Yeah.
women and like it doesn't just happen like blankly. It's not like, oh, because she's a woman, I'm gonna support her. It's like, no. I had conversations with them. I know they're a smart person. I know that they know, their stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but what I learned after doing how to talk to women, that talk for the first time, people came up to me after and were like, this resonated with me as a man, as a dad, because my daughter, she started in computer science and then she decided to leave. She was top of her class or something, but with all the misogyny that she was dealing with
Yeah.
it, she was like, this isn't worth it.
That's a
And
bummer.
she just left. And I think part of the reason is because, the people that she's surrounded by, they're the people who aren't supporting her.
Right.
And if I was in her shoes, not that I've ever been top of the class in my computer science class, very not a relatable thing for me at least. Um, but like if I was in her shoes, it would be really nice if like another girl just came up to me and was like, "Girl, you're killing it.
Yeah.
Like let's like stay in this. Let's stick together." Because like I've been in those classes where there is a misogynistic guy. Like people have questioned my technical decisions all the time. I've actually tested it once where like this guy he worships anyone who already broke into tech. It doesn't matter if he actually knows them, but like he's like, "Oh, that person works at Amazon. They're super smart." Which like maybe it's true. Um, so I gave my phone to someone like a guy who is already working in the industry, and he was responding to this classmate for me, and he just challenged everything. Like it just
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
And so again, for those people who like have already made it, we struggle and we kind of like trauma bond about it, I feel.
Hmm.
But for people who like haven't broken into the actual industry, you might still be in class, or at least women who are like a little bit more hesitant. I feel like they need that extra push to be like, no, you actually belong here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you, outside of like, and we know like the whole misogyny thing is it runs rampant. Like, and I get on people's cases all the time for stuff like that, and I hate to see it because it pushes so many people out of this community and
Mhm.
out of STEM fields in general. Do you find that there are other things that hold women back from getting into STEM, or is it mostly the you know the male misogynistic things that you know they have to deal with?
From my personal experience, like take everything with a grain of salt because
Yeah.
everyone's experience are different.
Right.
Mine personally is that I didn't expect to deal with that. Like I knew it happened, but that
Hmm.
wasn't something that held me back ever. It was more like, oh, I didn't think I was smart enough, or no, that's pretty much it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it looks too hard. I don't think I'm smart enough to do this. Like, oh, if I break into tech or like I go to school for tech, what if I don't get a job because I'm not good enough, or things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that was more of what it is for me. And when I talk to other women, I have like a brilliant niece who's so creative, and I think she would be an amazing UX designer, UI designer, but she just never thought of that like
Hmm.
as an option for herself. And it's something she's still exploring. Like she's not set on any major, but I'm just like, look, like these other careers actually exist.
Yeah.
And it's just that a lot of women aren't really encouraged to go that path either. because the moment that I got bad at math, like I used to be pretty decent at math, and then the moment it got too hard, I was like, oh, I'll go focus on something else,
Hmm.
or going down like a different path where things might make more sense to me. But then no one really like cultivates that. And another, don't quote me on this, but I think it's around the ages of like 6 or 7 is when girls actually get really curious about STEM. But that's also the age where, like, you're introduced to toys like dolls and ponies and other
Hmm.
things that aren't quite as stimulating. And so their like hand-eye coordination isn't being practiced or used as much. And because of that, they're like, oh, I'm not very good at this. So like I'll go do something else, which is exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you know of any programs out there that kind of cater to getting um, not just women, but like younger women involved earlier than
So,
maybe getting in like 20s, 30s, and the age doesn't even matter because
uh-huh.
at any point in your life, if you want to start writing code or getting involved in any of this, that is amazing. Like that's 100%.
Hmm.
Like the argument that, oh, I'm too old for this. Like,
Yeah.
I see on my timeline a lot of the times like men, women, everybody, doesn't matter who you are. There's, oh, am
Hmm.
I too old or I am too old? And it's like, no, you're not too old. Like you can get into this and do it and kick ass and take names. Like this
Right.
does not have an age limit
Right.
whatsoever. And if you want to do it, you got my full 100% support and I'll have your back any moment of any day.
Yeah. I mean, Todd did mention like some high schools do have STEM programs. Mine didn't. We just didn't have the funding for that. And
Right.
also, it wasn't like a huge thing.
Hmm.
Um, but if we're gonna go like even younger, there is this company called Goldie Blocks that makes STEM toys for girls. Like she makes it all storytelly and aesthetic so that girls who are normally more attracted to things like, dolls and building jewelry and purses. Like I get my nieces these toys just because I am that aunt.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, what do you want? She's like, I want a Moana doll. And I was like, not today. Just kidding. Someone else probably got it for her. But yeah, things like that. So for people who want to get, yeah, them, Osmo is a really good learning toy. I know it's a little more on the expensive end, but
Osmo.
yeah, it's a good program where you just kind of connect a little Osmo block to your iPad and it has like all the programs on there for kids to play. So it actually makes learning kind of fun, which,
That's cool.
yeah, because
I
a lot
like
of times, oh, go ahead.
oh, sorry. You go. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, when people feel forced to learn something that they don't enjoy, it's not gonna make them want to learn it.
Right.
And that's exactly how I
That's
felt
true.
with subjects that eventually got harder. And at some of these are like STEM subjects, So sorry, what
Yeah.
were you saying?
No, I was just checking. I've never heard of Goldie Blocks or Osmo, but I'm checking out the Goldie Blocks website right now, and I put a link
Hmm.
to it in the chat. I
Hmm.
also have a link to Osmo. Let me put a link to the Osmo playosmo.com in the chat as well, and I'll
You should
show
become
that
an
on.
ambassador.
I mean
Be like,
I've never even heard of these, but like this is
be
really
like,
cool.
use
Um,
code Zamars for 10%.
that would be sweet. I might have to hit up Goldie Blocks and Osmo and
You
see if they
should.
want to do a partnership, maybe with
You should.
Split. Who knows? Wink, wink. That would be awesome. But no, this is really cool. Like Goldie Blocks empower girls, change the world. I love that.
Hmm.
And like right below the fold, just a little bit, there's a little blurb with a young lady saying, "Learn to code a song in Python with Black Girls Code alumna Cadence Patrick. Code a song, watch the video." That's really like that's cool. Like that's really cool to me to
Hmm.
to see technology like this
Yeah.
come out for people, especially the younger generation. You know what I mean? Because let's be real, it's not going to be our generation that's running the world.
Hmm.
It's going to be the younger generation and all of the people that are coming up right now that are going to be changing and making the world a better place. So if we can
Hmm.
foster that education and that movement and that growth, sign me up. You know,
Absolutely. I feel like we should or I'll make a thread of girl STEM toys that I've gotten for my nieces, or just companies that sell them, and they've helped.
yeah,
I got
definitely
her
do
like
it.
a coding bunny.
Coding bunny.
Yeah, I do
Oh, let
have
me
to
see.
admit, I do have to admit that yeah, I don't know what it's called, but I got her
Is it
this.
coder bunnies?
No, it is, oh, coding critters.
Coding critters.
Yeah, so one of my homegirls on Twitter, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I forgot your handle already, but she teaches fourth grade in Florida, and she actually you can choose. So Bempy Lems has asked, is it like bunnies instead of coding ducks? Actually, there's like a whole collection of animals that you can choose from. I just got her the bunny because she likes bunnies. Yeah, but one of my girlfriends, she's a fourth grade teacher in Florida, and she has like all these fun STEM toys that she uses with her class. And they're not specific to girls, but just
Right.
because she gets them engaged early and they're like, oh, I enjoyed being in Miss Rose class and doing that. She's super crafty, super cool. I'll link her in that thread too.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely do that because I can take all that and pass that information around. I just found this coding Todd. Yes, he needs a coding lobster
Why a coding?
because it's Todd. Come on.
Yes, 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 yes.
Or maybe he needs a coding coffee milk. If you want to know more about coffee milk, follow me on Twitter. We can have that conversation. I'm sure he's just dying sitting in his chair right now with that comment. But
Hmm.
I found another one.
With a sippy cup. Oh, speaking of sippy cups, Vonage gives, they're not sippy cups, but they're Soho, so you can collapse them, and that's what I'm drinking out of today. If you're
Nice.
ever at an event, or you're going to be at an event and you would like a sippy cup or whatever you want to call this, let me know. I'll bring one for you.
I
I'll
want a
bring you
sippy
one,
cup.
Todd. You want a sippy cup?
I want a sippy cup. Todd needs his sippy cup though for coffee milk. I want my sippy cup for real coffee. You had to be there. It's an inside. You had to be there. It's an inside joke. One day Todd will
Okay.
tell you, or I'll tell you if
Okay.
we.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Todd wants his Vonage sippy cup.
For sure, for sure.
That's awesome. So, Miss Colorado, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh boy.
What are
Okay.
you doing as an ambassador in the tech community
Mhm.
to bring women together and get them involved in STEM? You got
Okay.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Clock starts now.
Oh, it's actually
No, I
wow.
don't
No,
know.
that's a lot. Wow. If pageant Q&As were that long, I think they would be like 24-hour events. We actually only get 30 seconds.
I don't know how pageants work.
Yeah.
Could
Well,
you
now
see me in a pageant? I don't think so.
definitely. You know what? We're gonna switch the roles. I'm gonna start asking you pageant questions.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, sounds good. So with my 30 seconds, I'm going to start off with saying, like, as a first generation Vietnamese American, I am a minority in both tech, STEM, and pageants. And I think that me being a part of this is diversifying our industry and allowing other girls to see that I am an outlier and encouraging them to also be a part of this is one of the reasons why, or one of the solutions to actually bringing more women to STEM. On top of that, I use my platform on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn to welcome other people to always talk to me if they do have any questions about STEM. And I'm always here to offer them resources. I'm planning on creating a pipeline of women who can also mentor them. And I am working with other companies that have already contributed to this cause.
I think that was 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. Were you
Sorry, I'm
timing it?
rusty.
I wasn't
I
even
wasn't.
timing
I'm
it.
really rusty. I'm just shooting out phrases from my paperwork. I'm
That's
rusty.
funny.
I just got on a plane last night. Okay.
Listen, I'm getting on a plane Saturday and going to Denver. And then I come home and I get back on a plane to go to Texas. But it's not for DevRel stuff. That's for
I'm
paintball stuff. So,
I'm so upset that I'm missing you in Denver because I'll be in Brazil.
but that's way cooler than being in Denver.
Yeah, but like I'm missing you, and I
Oh,
really wanted to hang out, and now we can't.
maybe I'll be back in Denver again. I lived there for a year. Did I tell? I told you that before, right? Did you know I lived in
No,
Denver for a year?
no.
I did. I lived in Jefferson Park for a year.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
even know where that is. That's how new I am to this area.
Oh, geez. So where?
Mhm.
If well, oh, so we'll just say Denver. So if you were to go, do you know where Sloan's Lake is?
Yes.
I lived on the other side of Sloan's Lake, like further down, uh, like down like that main drag. Okay, so do you know what Federal Bar and Grill is? The Fed?
No.
You don't know where the Fed is? Okay. Well, I lived over there, but I used to
Okay.
go. I used to go to a couple restaurants over there by Sloan's Lake.
Mhm.
So just drive down that main drag and look at Sloan's Lake. I used to go to the King Supers over there.
I'm like, which one? But really, I'm like, now we're just all we're inviting
Yeah,
the internet to go check out your old home.
I know. Hey, they can. Jefferson Park. I lived in apartments over there. It was cool. I'm gonna go to the Fed Bar and Grill when I get to Denver, hang out, see some friends. It's gonna be fun.
Some friends minus Diana, but
Well, yes, some friends minus like the best of the friends, right?
yes. And then 100% to Todd, which is funny because I'd be really surprised if she's willing to talk to me because my niece is 18 right now, and I am definitely not the cool aunt. Like, nope, 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 nope.
She's got to be on
I
Twitter though, Todd. She's got to be on Twitter
or Instagram. I'm on there less, but I'm also there.
or IG. How do you feel about Mastodon?
I don't know how to use it. I, I,
I
you
log
know,
in every few weeks, but like
I don't know how to log in.
it's just I don't get how it works. I don't understand the whole like the distributed server pieces of it. Like I have more traction with Twitter than Mastodon. So
No,
I pop in every few weeks. Yeah, if nothing's going on, I go back to what I know, and that's Twitter.
I don't even know what is going on or how to check what is going on. It's actually gotten to a point where where I like was like, "Oh, can you all send me your Mastodon links and I'll follow you?" The moment they send me a link, it doesn't even go to the app. It goes to like a browser where I have to log in. I don't even know my login. We talked about this. It's
Yeah,
just yeah.
no
Yeah.
time, no time
Is
for
that
that.
hip? Is she on Todd, is she on Mastodon? Is that the new hip thing?
It might be what the cool kids are doing. I don't know.
Maybe, instead of TikTok, they've migrated to Mastodon. Imagine if all the high school kids were just like on Mastodon. And, are you on the Elephant app?
Are you on the old Elephant app instead of the Bird app? Oh, good. Funny thing about an elephant. You know how you eat an elephant?
No.
One bite at a time. That's a dad joke, and B, when I used to work as an independent contractor for a company here in Michigan, um, this was years ago. The owner of the company told me that because we were talking about like a big project, or I was talking about a big project. She's like, "Chris, do you know how you eat an elephant?" And I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "One bite at a time. You just got to break down the problem." I'm like, "Okay," but it always just stuck with me, right? Like I don't know.
Okay, this is one of those moments where I realized I am so Southeast Asian that I didn't question, like, oh, you can eat an elephant?
I don't think you're supposed to,
Oh
right?
no.
I,
I don't know. I'm
I
I'm
don't. I
Vietnamese. We
wouldn't do
eat
it.
very interesting. Yes, it's all Tickscape and Instatalk, Face Snap. Um, yeah. Add me, add me on the tweeters.
That's funny.
That's from Schitt's Creek. I love that show.
I've never watched it.
Schitt's Creek. Oh my
Never
gosh,
watched it.
we need to do a marathon next time we hang out.
Oh, well, let me see how busy my schedule is before we start planning that. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Question number 2, Miss
Mm.
Colorado.
Mm, 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 mm.
Oh no.
It is your turn.
Fine.
All
Okay.
right.
Hit me with it.
So, what? Okay.
Time out. Do I get 30
So,
seconds or 5 minutes?
I'll give you 5 minutes. It's fine.
Okay.
So,
Time in.
what are your thoughts on Colorado being the first state to legalize marijuana in the United States?
Oh,
Keep in mind when you're like answering pageant questions, you have to be as PC but also have an opinion.
wow. And this is a pageant. Will this be a real pageant question?
Yeah, you're asked about politics all the time. Like,
Oh, well, I'll give you the 30-second. I think it is great for the economy. I think it will help tremendously. It does help and will continue to help tremendously with all of the public works and state initiatives, as well as the STEM fields, because that will create jobs for people building point of sale systems and lab testing and other companies. out there that use cannabis as a way to generate income based on technological advances in the industry.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Hmm.
Thank you.
So for
Thank
my
you.
pageant, they're like, it's a scholarship pageant, so
Mhm.
you should be making more money, making more money than you should be spending on it. But there are some girls who just do this as a hobby. They love spending lots of money on pretty dresses and such. I'm borrowing
Mhm.
everything. But then often they like tie it back to education. And so something that I try to do, which I failed to do in my first question, is like, you tie it back to your initiative, and then or like you tie it back to the organization that offers scholarships to young women. Oh my gosh, Todd, if your 16-year-old partner's daughter is interested in doing pageants, she should also hit me up because I know a lot of girls who made a lot of money from doing pageants.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
For school. It all goes to school.
Yeah,
Like they don't just give you a fat check and you go spend it on like a nice purse.
that's
This
funny.
is me paying off my loans.
Paying off my loans.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. So I have another question for you, and this is still STEM related. It's not so much pageant related. Well, I guess it could be sort of pageant related.
Okay.
But this specific event, so Miss Colorado, is this a specific Miss Colorado pageant that is STEM focused, or the gist of your spiel
Mhm.
is STEM focused for the pageant? Because I personally don't have
No,
a
it's okay.
clue how any of this stuff works. I don't know if it's like there's themes for different type of pageant events, or
Yeah, yeah.
like
No, that's
how it
fair
works.
question. Fair question. This is my one of my first times competing in this organization. Different organizations, they might be competing for different reasons. I used to do cultural pageants, so I would respond in Vietnamese, and that's very different from this one because if I did that, no one would understand me.
Hmm.
So this one is just more like choose a cause, promote it, and if you win, you keep on working towards supporting that cause.
That's
And
awesome.
something that I tell them is like it's not just it's not just it's not just like winning the money. It's like, no, they're offering you a platform so that you can continue working towards something that you believe in. And there are going to be some girls who literally had no cause until this pageant. For
Yeah.
me, it was like I always had this cause. I just made it more formal, and I'm already doing the work. A lot of girls are like, "Oh, if I become Miss Colorado, I'll do this," and I'm like, "No, if I become Miss Colorado, I'll continue to do what I'm already doing."
Yeah, I mean, well, that's like two birds with one stone. You're still gonna do it regardless, but I mean, it's just an extra. I guess an extra. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like pretty much, you're just using this title as like a microphone to amplify your mission.
I like that. I like
Hmm.
that. You're
Oh,
Rick
and
rolling them. You're Rick rolling them. That's what you're doing.
there we go. And I should definitely clarify if I misspoke. Todd Libby's partner is not 16, but the 18-year-old is not into pageants. I know that much. Okay, that's fine too. But in case I misspoke, let's clarify that right now.
Yeah. No. Todd's partner, who is really awesome. She's super funny, and her and
I
I
have
get
yet to meet her.
she's really cool. Her and I get along because we make fun of Todd, but she also likes Indian food, and I love Indian food, and Todd likes Indian food, and we all three of us went out to Indian food when we were in Phoenix together,
Mhm.
and it was amazing. And then we just ripped on Todd all night because of his coffee milk and his sippy cups. So her and I, Paula and I, get along really well, which is really really fun. But yes, the she does have a daughter, and I know
Mhm.
that Todd was trying to kind of get her involved in STEM and stuff like that. So this
Mhm.
it's really good that Todd's in here into this stream right now to hear it first and foremost and see all the support.
Yeah, for sure. And he's okay with the grilling.
Yeah, totally.
Like
Well,
how much grilling is there? Is it like medium rare?
no,
Well done.
it's
Congratulations.
we grill, like we're straight up grilling. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
Like sippy cups, coffee milk, lobsters, Shorzy, Jonesy. We're grilling.
Okay. Have you heard of that where it's like there's well done and then there's congratulations?
I've never
Like
heard of this.
that's how burnt your steak is on the grill.
Oh, we burn them. We burn them.
Yeah.
We burn it, and Mike burns them too, which is funny. And it's funny when we all get involved. And Homer, and we just roast him.
You
It's
know,
it's it's roasted lobster. That's what it is.
it's funny because we all I feel like we all bond over grilling each other.
You have to like you
Yes.
have to be able to be comfortable enough to have that relationship with your people and
And we're all
crack
such good sports about it.
crack jokes back and forth and like not take it seriously because at the end of the day, we're vibing together, we're hugging each other, we're always excited when we see each other. Like
Yes.
that's the whole thing about this community. And I love talking about developer community. I know you love talking about developer community,
Me too.
but at the core, it's the relationships. And I'm not gonna I might share this tweet in the chat. Let me find it real quick. It is
Mm-hmm.
from a buddy of mine, and I don't know if you've ever met him,
Who is
but you
it?
should meet him.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Sharat. Have you met Sharat? I'm gonna
No.
I'm gonna share this tweet. I am actually gonna share this tweet in the chat.
Okay.
Give me 1 second, and this is all goes back to community. I will do an introduction with you both on
Thank
um
you.
whatchamacallit, Twitter.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
But this right here, and Shar says in this, and I'll read it verbatim. DevRel must start with the relationship part first before diving into the technology. If not, then you're dev tech.
I
And
love
that hits home. Like that hits super, super hard because what we were doing, we were in this to build relationships, not to build the technology.
that.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this just resonates. And this is directly from Shar. DevRel must start with the relationship part first before diving into the technology. If not, then you're dev tech. And the the number one thing on the list with what we do is building relationships. It's all about the
Mm-hmm.
relationship first. So, and that's kind of I think why not only do we vibe with other developer advocates in the community, but we vibe with our community in general
Mm-hmm.
because that's what we have to do. Whether that's hallway tracks and dinners and lunches and after hours and breakfasts, brekkies. It's all about
Or 2
relationships.
a.m. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell at 2 a.m., like
Yes.
all of those things. Pizza at 2 a.m., pizza
Okay.
at noon. Like it doesn't even matter. Like
Yes.
those are where the relationships are made. I tell people all the time, you can learn all day long in a conference talk, but you're not going to learn about that person giving that talk in the conference talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I
You're
realize
not
I
going to make
am.
that. You're not going to build that relationship with them. Outside of the talk is where all that the magic happens.
Yeah, I actually am following him. I've never met him, but I'm following him.
Shar is one of the nicest, kindest people in not just in this community, but in general. And Todd can back that up. Mike can back that up. Gant can back that up. Everybody can back that up. So
Mm,
shout out to Shar.
like, and and something I've noticed, especially as someone a lot newer to all of this, is that all of you, the people that I value the most in the DevRel space, are very high key, but you all don't walk around acting like influencers and celebrities and like
I don't like those words for one.
and what exact yeah. And I know a lot of those influencers, Twitter celebrities, like tech celebrities, whatever you want to call them, they'll be like, "Oh no, I'm not one of them," and I'm like, "Well, clearly you are because you
Yeah,
you find me unworthy of even being in your space right now, you know."
right.
And none of these people are like that.
Yeah, and yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, none of I don't I truly don't believe any of us, and there are some, but the majority don't consider themselves, a celebrity or a thought leader or an
Okay.
influencer. I'm here just to make relationships and make the developer
Mm,
community better. Like
mm,
I'm just me. Like I'm just Krista Mars from
mm.
Michigan. Like I'm nobody. You know what I mean?
From
Like
Michigan, which
from
is where we
Detroit.
met, and we were literally under the same roof.
We were in Ohio, nonetheless.
No, before that,
Oh wait,
in
no, that's
Detroit.
right. You were at CubeCon. I was at CubeCon
I was
because
at the same bar that you chose for everyone to go
I know,
to after the dinner.
I know,
And somehow I met everyone but him. We
and
were
that's
probably
because I'm
like
not a celebrity.
3 feet away from. I didn't even know the people who were there. I'm not in DevOps, and so it was my first time like even being in that space of people were yeah just
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
But
funny. But that's how it works. So like you cross paths, just like Jeff and I. Jeff and I have crossed paths many a time at Code Mash, Stir Trek, RevConf, in Virginia Beach, and never said a word to each other. But we would talk on Twitter and just never like it would just whoop, never even spoke. And
Mhm.
then one day we were just like, you know what, we need to change that. And then Jeff and I became good buddies. So that's just how
Do you
the world, the developer community works.
do you recognize people in real life?
100%. Oh yeah.
Really?
I'm good with faces. I suck at names, but I'm good with faces.
Really? Like some
Yeah.
people don't look like their profile pictures. And so when I meet some of them in real life, I'm like, I don't know who I'm talking to. One of them
Yeah.
didn't recognize me. Mike Elsmore, I love that guy. Gonna see him next week. But I came up to him. I came up to him in Japan, and I was like, "Hi," and he was like, "Oh my gosh, it's you!" Who insert story that clearly did not happen because I have never been to Europe, and he was saying that we hung out in Europe, and I was like,
Mhm.
"No," and I showed him my name tag, and he was like, "My God, you're so small in person."
That's funny.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad at it
A lot
too.
of the times I get because people don't actually know how big I am in real
Mhm.
life.
Mhm.
So they
You're
see me, they see me and they're like, "Oh wow, like I didn't know you were that big." I'm like,
yeah.
"Well, I'm a big dude." Like, and then when I hug them, they're like, "Oh geez, I love your hugs, Damaris." People love the hugs I give. So because
We
I'm a
do.
hugger, like I love hugging people.
We
Like
do.
and Todd's a big dude too. Todd and I are bigger men, and
Yeah.
Todd gives great hugs too. So like if you ever get a hug from Todd, it's he's got lobster claws, but
I'm like, I want to hug with them. I want to hug with everybody. I'm a
yeah.
hugger too. But everyone expects me to be taller, and then I show up, and especially when I'm not mindful of like using my work voice, that's a little bit lower than my normal voice.
Yeah.
And they're like, why is there this 12-year-old talking to me?
Oh, that's why is this person just chatting? I don't understand. It's too high pitched.
Right, right. You're like, do you hear that?
That's funny.
Yeah, my thing makes fun of me all the time.
That's too funny. Hugs are the best, Todd.
They
That's
are.
very true. Have you met James Quick? James Q Quick. Do you
Yes,
know
I
James?
met him at that.
That conference. Are you going to be at that in Wisconsin this year?
So Vonage isn't sponsoring, and I did not submit a CFP, so I don't know. But
Did
I'll
you
be at other things.
did you say you got into Beer City?
I did. Who
Guess
else is
who's
going to
we're
Beer City?
this guy.
Yes, who else in the comments is going?
Oh,
Is it
Todd, are
this
you going?
way?
I think Todd might be going to Beer City. There are a handful of new people I've seen on Twitter that are going to be at Beer City that have never been to Beer City before.
Including
And I
myself.
and you, that's what I'm saying. Like you, Amanda over at Wix.
Oh, yes. I
Uh,
literally just talked to her today.
yep, I think Emmy, her coworker is going to be there too. Like a lot of people. Taylor Desson, Taylor, big Taylor, Tay
I love
Tay, my buddy Tay
Taylor.
Tay is going to be there. I think, but a lot
He's
of people.
a keynote speaker.
Yeah, well, a lot of people that have not submitted and or have spoken at Beer City Code are going to be there this year. And I'm hoping, and I tend to think, as just the person I am, it might
Hmm.
be because I tweeted about it and said, "Hey, everybody submit." I hope to think that's the case, but it's amazing that they're all going to be there, and I get to see all of them because I haven't seen Amanda since the conference that shall not be named in London. Todd knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's no secret. But yeah, I haven't seen Amanda since then. I've never met her coworker before. I haven't
Hmm.
seen Tay Tay since.
I saw him in
Oh,
January. I saw them both in. No, I saw Amanda in February.
where have I been? I was in Code Mash. I don't think Taylor's ever been to Code Mash. I probably haven't seen Taylor since. Oh, maybe Connect Tech. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't remember, but I haven't seen Taylor in a minute. So like it's a chance for me to see all my friends. Like and that's
Hmm.
part of the reason why I love being on the road and traveling and
Are you
having those
speaking?
relationships. For
Are
what?
you
Beer City?
speaking? Yeah, or are you just
Two talks.
doing all the? Okay, wow, you have time to do talks on top of running everything.
It's there's a lot of things popping. So yeah, my buddy Jay Tower, he's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He runs Beer City along with an awesome
Mhm.
crew of people that make it happen, make it work. Grand
I
Rapids is a
told
cool
someone
city.
about it.
Yeah.
I told them about it yesterday at the airport. Someone was like, "I live in Michigan," and I was like, "There's a conference happening there."
Are
and then
they
they
in
looked it up.
the tech community?
Yeah, but just
Do I
not in.
do I know
I
them?
don't think I just met her.
Who is she?
I'll drop a handle in case she didn't want to be mentioned here.
Oh, copy that.
Yeah.
I know a lot of cats in the Michigan community, developer community. But yeah, no, that's really cool. Yeah, no, Beer City is a really cool event. I speak there almost every year. I had to
Mm,
skip out a couple years because of COVID, B because I was moving to Denver at the same time, and I think
mm,
I got accepted to speak when I was moving back home from Denver.
mm.
So, but I spoke last year. I gave two talks, one in the morning, one in the
What is it?
afternoon.
What is your
Do
talk?
so I'm doing a talk on demystify. Well, the titles are demystifying the dreaded A/B test,
Hmm.
and the other one is what is the other one? I'll tell you right now. Let me. The power of feature flags in CSS development. So two talks I'm
Oh,
giving this year are all based around what we're doing at Split and A/B testing and feature flags, and be really fun.
very cool. Very cool.
So
Very cool.
yeah,
What is my talk called? It's called Evolution of Chatbot Therapist from Eliza to ChatGPT.
that sounds dope. I'm gonna if it's not during my session, I might have to pop into that.
Please do. Please do. The very first time I did, that's actually my very first talk ever. And I did it at CodeMesh. I've only started talking this year. So that's exciting.
Look at you. You've only started talking, but you're all over the place. You know everybody and anybody. Traveling to Brazil, doing all the
Oh,
things,
I'm
coming
not
back from
talking there,
NOLA.
but yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
You're so lucky. You're
No,
so
and
lucky.
because the speaker circuit, we're all so well connected. I always hit like you up, Mike up, and I'm like, hey, did you get accepted to this? Did you get accepted to that?
Yeah,
And
yeah. There's
yeah.
a lot on the docket this year. Denver
Hmm.
this week, then
Are
Stir
you speaking?
Trek. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we'll
Oh,
see
but
each other at
we're gonna
Stir
see each other
Trek.
at Star Trek too, duh.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but
okay,
yeah,
so I'm hosting a workshop there. What are you working on?
I'm giving one of my accessibility talks.
Oh, awesome.
Yep, Star
Yeah.
Trek's a good one too. I've spoken at Star Trek in the past. Really cool that it's inside the movie theater and it's simulcast to
Mm-hmm.
other theaters, inside the building.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, so that's a really good one. But yeah, I got DevOps Days Rockies this weekend, beginning of next week, this weekend, and I'm doing one of my A/B testing talks, and then come home from that, go to Texas for a paintball tournament. Come home from that, drive down to Columbus for Stir Trek. Come home from that. I got ViewConf US. I got Jane React in Portland. Oh, that conference. I got KCDC in June.
I'll see you there too. I think that's my last one.
Yeah,
As far as I know. Yeah, I just have CityJS São Paulo. You know how I watched an 8-minute video on how to say that word because I had to record a video for work, and
Sao
I was like,
Paulo.
yeah, Sao Paulo. That is how we
Yeah,
say it in America. But I was like, no, I'm gonna be a little cultured today. I'm actually gonna learn how to pronounce this correctly. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally just watched an 8-minute video on how to say, yay! I get my big hug in KCDC. Yeah, so it's so,
Sao.
so,
So.
so, Paulo,
Oh, that'll take me a little
right?
while to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I had to film a video for work and mention that, and I was like, I wonder how many people I'm offending with my horrible pronunciation. But that's next. Then Star Trek. Then I have Cube Huddle in Toronto. If anyone is in DevOps or just that general space and wants to hang out in Toronto, then hit me up. Then I'm going to DroidCon in San Francisco, and then I will see you all at KCDC.
Sweet.
I'm so
Well,
nervous
why?
just for talks because like everyone's been in this space for so long, they're used to doing talks, and here I am, and I'm just like
I still get nervous before every talk, and I've been doing this for a long time.
yeah, I get nervous like once I'm on, but like right before I have told people I never tell them, oh, this is my first talk, or like,
Yeah.
oh, this is I'm new to I never tell them that because then I'm like I should be as credible to myself as I am to them.
Yeah.
But
I have a ritual that I do. Like I wrote a blog post years ago for Emma Bastian, when she started getting into speaking,
mhm,
and she wanted like some tips and tricks. Like I wrote a whole blog post about things that I do before or after a talk, right? And so I sent it over
mhm,
to her. But I have like a ritual routine that I do before a talk, and I'll go in the room. I play music right off the rip. Like I started a trend of playing music years ago, and a lot of speakers now play music before their talk starts because
What
nobody wants
song?
any. It doesn't matter. Like I play anything.
Okay.
Well, I try to play stuff that's like safe for work, right? So I usually play a lot of Homer's playlists. Homer makes music and stuff
Homer.
like that. So I
Yes.
play a lot of Homer's music before talks, or I'll play like a high res, not so much like of a lo-fi, like
Hmm.
techno.
Hmm.
I used to play a lot of Marshmello. I can't really play like the Southern California reggae music
Yeah.
for reasons,
Hmm.
but I do that because nobody wants to walk and wait in a stuffy room with shitty lighting,
Right.
staring at a screen. People go in, especially if it's in like a morning or an afternoon talk, like
Yeah.
get the vibe going, get people to chill and get them to hang out and let them like make them comfortable. You know what I
I
mean?
love that.
And so I'll walk around and I'll vibe with people, but I'll try and stand outside the room and I'll shake out and I'll jump up and down and I'll do some
Hmm.
breathing exercises and try to just get myself hyped. And then once I'm on and I don't stop until I need to stop. You know what I mean? And for
Yeah.
anybody that's attended my talk or any of my talks, like you know what you're getting into when you come into my room. A lot of
Hmm.
people I've met in the community have seen my talks numerous times, but they go into my talk because of the vibe and the energy that I bring to the talk.
I
You
love
know what I
that.
mean? But like
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I do because I always get nervous. And I tell people all the time, if you don't get nervous, and there's some people that say I don't get nervous, but if you don't get nervous, like you need to check your nervous system. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Because there's always going to be butterflies. It's always going to be one of those things. But once you're on,
You're on.
boom, you're on.
Yeah. You know what was so messed up? The very first time I did a talk, Mike was there, and he is such a bully. I say bully, but no, he's like literally one of my favorite people in the space. He was there like right before my talk started, and I was like, Mike, what do I do? Like, how do I get plugged into the screen? He's like, I don't know. He's got to figure it out. And then like 2 minutes before the talk, that's when the tech people come in, like the talk tech
Yeah.
IT people come in, and he was like, I can't believe you really thought that they wouldn't be there to help you. And I was like, that is so mean. Like my talk was in less than 5 minutes, and I was like, what do I do? Like, and everyone's just staring at me as I'm like looking for cords.
Young grasshopper. You have so
Yes,
much to learn.
yes. Like these two guys came up to me and they're like, "Oh, are you the speaker?" And I was like, "Yes." And I don't know what to do. He's like, "Oh, we're here to help you." And I was like,
Why they have AV teams?
"Yeah, no, love them. They're amazing."
Yeah. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun. This year's gonna be fun. This year's gonna be a
Hmm.
lot of fun.
Sure hope so.
We're coming up on time.
Okay.
I want to get your last thoughts on introducing women to STEM. What can we do as people in the community, men,
Hmm.
women, anybody, doesn't matter who you are? What
Hmm.
can we do to help you,
Hmm.
but help everybody else as well to bring more people and women into STEM?
I definitely think that you should, for one thing, like show up to women's talks if you're able to, because in our job, like a lot of it's metrics based. And what I'm recognizing is like when women get appreciated on paper, that's what brings them back to talks.
Hmm.
And that's just a start. And just being available to other women who want to break into tech, because a lot of times, like, they don't know that they can just ask people. And some people don't have that bandwidth to help. But in my case, like, yeah, I'm totally happy to help Todd's partner's daughter, not yeah. And he probably wouldn't have known that had I not said anything about it. So I think just making yourself available to other people, pointing in them in different directions. Like I think you've tagged me in a couple things when people are like, "Oh, who can I talk to about this?" And I think like you've tagged me. Like those small things. It's not just me. It's like other women as well, and advocating for people who also promote women. Like yeah.
That's awesome.
And if
That's
you want to
awesome.
follow my journey to Miss Colorado, I am cashlights underscore on Instagram. I wish Diana's Oyster was not taken, but it is.
Yeah.
That's CACHE flights underscore. Or just follow me on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah.
My headshots came in. They look like Disney Channel audition headshots. Help me choose one, please. I'll do a thread later. Yes.
Everybody remember that?
I'm Diane Pham, and you're watching Disney Channel.
You're watching Disney Channel. Give
Yeah.
us give us a recap of where you're going to be and where people can find you on the road before we
Yes.
cut this.
So I'll be at CityJS Sao Paulo, and if you want a ticket, hit me up. Maybe I can get something going for you. I'll be at Star Trek, Cube Huddle, DroidCon, and KCDC.
Awesome.
For now.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you
Hmm.
so much for doing this.
Yeah.
I know we've had to reschedule a couple times because of
All
conflicts or whatever,
good. Yeah,
but
thanks for having me.
this was great. Once again, thank you so much for being an awesome person. Thank you so much for being a leader in the STEM field. Thank you so much for being a leader in the developer advocacy space for what you're doing and just for knowing all the people. So you're appreciated and you need to know that. So
Thank you. Yeah, and thanks to everyone who joined in.
yeah, thank you to the audience, Todd, Alex. We got Bumpy Lumps in there as Alex. And
Yeah.
speaking, so I do want to throw this in there, and I've talked about this before on stream. And it's kind of cool, so I like to mention every now and then when we talk about community, and then we'll end it after this. But Alex and I met not through the developer community on Twitter, but through the paranormal community on Twitter, because he and I are both into the same things, whether that's
Mhm.
paranormal, cryptozoology, ufology, and we have the same mutual friends on Twitter and in real life. But then come to find out that he's also in the developer community. And Cecilia Martinez used to mentor him.
No
Yeah.
way.
So
Oh
like
my
it's like
gosh.
a full circle of all the communities. That's why community is so good because you can meet so
Love
many
it.
people. We started with the paranormal community as friends, found out that, he was also in the developer community, and then
Mhm.
Cecilia, who I'm friends with, was his
We are
mentor,
friends with.
and you're also friends with, was his mentor. So it all works out.
The
Sings the circle of life.
circle of life. Yeah.
Is that a Disney? Is that if that's a Disney movie?
Yes.
Full circle. See,
Yes. How can you not know what it's from?
I don't.
Lion King.
I know the Lion King.
Okay.
Jeez,
Yes, I
Louise.
did see what you did there.
Good job, Todd. All right, with that, we're gonna see if we can raid somebody. Let me pop over to Twitch. Anything else you wanna plug or say before we shut it down?
No, pretty much follow me on Twitter. I'm gonna include links to all those things and people we mentioned today because I think all the people that we mentioned today are
Yeah,
worth following. Yeah.
100%. Cool. All right, let me see if I can find somebody to raid.
Ooh, I was going to say, is Austin Gill on? I would love to grade him if he
Well,
is
I
on,
don't
but
know
I
if
don't
Austin is on or not. In the list I have going, there's only 4 people right now that I'm following
for sure.
on the Split Software Twitch account that are
Oh, he is
streaming
not
right
on right
now.
now.
So let's pop over to adam.dev, or
Sounds
do we pop
good.
over to Acorn 1010, or do we pop over to Coding with Luke? What do you want to do?
Uh, I don't know who Acorn is. Let's pop over. I'll meet him and meet them, and that'd be cool.
All right, we are going to pop over to Acorn 1010. We are going to start the raid. And let's see, it's going to raid here in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Later, y'all. Peace out.